Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. I'm here a little earlier today than normal because I've planned something with a friend. So we're going to go for a walk to our local coffee shop and catch up, which will be lovely. But first things first, before that happens, I have a project to share with you. Now, full disclosure, this project is a cased project. Now, when I first made it, I cased directly from the Demonstrator, but for the one I'm making today, I'm using all the same products, but it's a different color palette and different pattern paper. Hey Alison, thanks for joining. So this is the card we're making. I cased this from Martin Mayhem. I found this card on a Demonstrator Facebook page, and I went, oh wow, what a great way, hey Kathy, thanks for joining, to show the Holly Jolly Christmas, particularly the Santa, without colouring it in. And it uses so many of, oh sorry for the shine, it uses so many of the stamp sets in the set that I thought, amazing, love it. Hey Renee, hey France, thanks for joining. So I think I'm using all bar 3 stamps in the stamp set, and there are 8 stamps, so I'm using 5 stamps. Hey Shelley, thanks for joining. So using this, I'm also have used, not that I'll be using them on the live, but I have used the layering circle framelits, must have in a beginner or any stamper's stash. You get the scallop and the circle dies, which is fantastic. So I really like that. I am going to get to it, flick over my other screen and show you how I'm going to make this card. I've sort of got crap everywhere. It's that kind of morning. I've tried to get a few things done, go live early, and I feel very disheveled, even not having a great hair day, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey, just got to go with it. So I'll flick you guys around and we will get going. So it is a stunning day, well, it is actually spring, but it is a wintry kind of day. Sorry guys, it's cool, but it's lovely in the sun. Okay, let's see. Sorry, let me just, I keep on putting my finger over the camera. How rude of me. Okay, I think that's a good screen to go with. Let me just get up my second screen, make sure I have no sound on. Okay, let's see if I can just push this forward a bit so you're not seeing down my lap. Thank you so much for sharing, Delinda. I do appreciate that. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it exactly as it is and go turn off my overhead light. Hey Deb, thank you for sharing as well. I never ask, but it is appreciated. Okay, so these are the basic supplies we're playing with. As I said, this is a cased card from Martin Mayhem. That's his business name. And I think he's a demo in the US actually. Okay, so using the Holly Jolly Christmas and the Night Before Christmas paper. I have told you girls how much I love this and how much it reminds me of my grandmother's, my childhood Christmases, which really took place around my grandmother. It's a really multicolored set. I love it. Now, the way I am changing it up is that I'm going to not be using Mossy Meadow like I did with this one. I'm going to be using Pretty Peacock. So we're going to be using Pretty Peacock, Cherry Cobbler, and Crumb Cake. So I'm keeping this panel the same, and I'm changing anything that's Mossy Meadow is going to be Pretty Peacock, and we're working on a Crumb Cake base. Now some bits I've already pre-done because I had a team meeting on the weekend, and I pre-did some. I generally, when I do a class, I don't fully make a card. I do make portions of the card. Hey Linda, hey Michelle, hey Jeannie. Wow, everyone's popping in. Everyone likes this earlier time slot. If you like the earlier time slot, I can make it happen. So I'm just going to pop all my stamps that I need onto blocks here, because we are going to be, and I'll just pop the card here, we are going to be creating a bit of a randomly stamped background, which is nice and fun. I think this is my original. I won't show you my second card because I don't know where it is, and I know for a fact this piece of paper I put adhesive on the wrong side, and it was crumb cake on crumb cake. I was a bit annoyed with myself, but it's still a card I will give to someone. Hey Kathy, thanks for joining. Okay. So these are the 3 stamps we are not using. So they are the And May Your Heart Be Filled with the Love of the Season, the Trees, and the Believe. But that's okay. Using 5 is pretty good. Now, because I'm going to be stamping off the edges, I will need just a scrap of paper. Okay, sorry, getting myself all organised here so you can see what I'm doing. So these are my pre-cut card bases. Let me just fold this piece a little easier. Right, that is the back of the card because the corner is bent. Grab my Pretty Peacock. I love that you girls don't bag me out for talking to myself as I set things up. Good morning, Deb. Okay, Pretty Peacock ink. And I'm just going to get going. Now what I'm going to do first is go in with my largest image, which is the three stockings, and just do some random stamping, random angles, not, oh God, that was terrible. Not being too particular. Try not to move too much as well. I'm going to complete one whole background at a time. So then I'm going to go in with my gift. Gift here and gift here. And then I've got the word Love Santa, and I chose the Love Santa because we're using the Santa image. So you only really need to read the love. Oh, my stamping is horrid today, girls. Maybe I need to concentrate. My stamping, horrid. Oh well. It's handmade, not Hallmark, isn't it? What is going on today? I have no idea what's going on. No idea. Now I'm thinking, now there's a bit of white space up here, but I'm happy for that. And let's see on card base number 2 if I can be, I think I just got ink on my finger. Yay, Felicity, I'm so glad. Deborah, this is a stamp set in the 2019 holiday catalogue. So yes, you can class it as a new stamp set. Yes, housework can wait. This isn't going to be a long live today because as you can see from the card, it is fairly simple. There isn't, oh look at that, when I slow down and stamp, I get much better results. Serves me right. Except I moved, oh no, I didn't really move on that one. There isn't too much to the card. There are just a couple of bits that work nicely. Oh my dear word. Someone take the stamps out of my hand. Really? Right. Let's see if we can go better with the Love Santa. Oh, frog in my throat. Okay. Better-ish. I think I might add a couple more presents on this one. It just, the sizing is, depends on where you stamp to where things sort of fall. Okay, and that will go in the middle, so that dead spot in the middle will be fine. So that is my two backgrounds stamped. I do not need the pretty peacock anymore, however much I love stamping with it. No, they're not brand new stamps. I've used them quite a bit. It's just an issue with me being me. And I should have used a baby wipe, but you know, I suck the ink off my thumb and then I get it on my face, and my team bagged me out big time on the weekend. They went, "Are you trying a new colour of lipstick?" It was quite fun. And I went, no, I just couldn't be stuffed getting a baby wipe. But anyway, so these are the circles that I have cut with the layering circle framelits. So I have cut the biggest scallop here, and for the very vanilla circle, I have used the biggest one in this stack, so it's a couple of sizes down. I wanted to show more of the background colour without it, without cutting off a lot of the scallops. Yep, exactly, Deb. This is real crafting. Oh, I cut a couple of extras of this. Awesome. I might stamp 2 of these because I know in the pack I have an extra flag of this. So I'll do that and I'll see how I go. So starting with the crumb cake. Now I know my sticker has discoloured, but it really is crumb cake and it's not some kind of funky green. Okay, so for the Santa, what I did is I stamped off just to give us a lighter shade, and what I want is to put the Santa a bit closer to the top and off to one side, just so I can fit in the sentiment. So hopefully this sort of shows you what I have done. So off to one side, I don't mind cutting off his hat. So there we go. Because you can still tell it's Santa hat or not. So finish with the crumb cake. And then I'm going to bring in the cherry cobbler, do the sentiment, and done. So I'm doing lots of freehand stamping today, as opposed, can't open this one today, as opposed to using my Stamparatus, because believe it or not, using the Stamparatus with circles is actually really quite difficult. stamp this off just to make sure. Perfect. And the center doesn't have to be straight, but your sentiment has to be in a good spot. I'm going to leave it there for a couple of seconds for the ink to transfer. Ta-da! I like that. And take the second one, and this is our last bit of stamping, and then I've got to do one bit of punching and we're up to assembling, which makes this card super duper simple. Okay, done. Happy sailing. Besides a few bodges on the back, on the background, I'm pretty happy with that. So you can see from the card and from this piece, I have created some flags, and how I did that, and it's super duper simple. I grabbed the triple banner punch and these strips. Now let me just, fingers aren't working the best today. Just undo the lock so we can use it. Triple banner punch. So this slot here is a 2-inch opening, then we go 1.5 and 1 inch. So these, I got 3 of these strips out of the 6x6 paper, and all I'm going to do is slide this all the way into the end, and these are 5 inches tall, and push down, and I have the perfect flag dent, and I only waste a tiny bit. Hey Linda, hey Pamela, thanks for joining. So I have my 2 flag dents, and I am just going to re-lock this punch. I don't lock all of my punches, but where this one lives is in a basket, so it sits standing like that, which is fun and good because it works really well. Okay, bone folder. I don't need the pen, but thank you for joining the live video. Hey Margine, thanks for joining. Oh, look at those handprints on the back of the card. See, it's handmade when you get inky fingerprints. Now, this inside stamp, "May your heart be filled with the love of the season," is a fantastic sentiment for the inside of these cards. Now, I'm not going to do that because when it comes time for me to write my Christmas cards, what I do, I set up an inside sentiment in my Stamparatus and stamp the same sentiment but change the colours to suit the cards. So I sort of do it in one big mass production. Okay, so card bases are done, flags are done. Let's get these put together. And, oh, where is my glue? I must have taken it out. Yes, I did. Oops. Oh, dear word. We're doing well on this live. All the mishaps are happening. Hey, Cindy, thank you so much for joining and sharing. Okay, so pop some Tombow multi-purpose glue on the back of this. Now, I do like using wet glue because it gives me wiggle room to try, note I say try, to get things centered, because I generally don't put things down straight or centered, so it just gives me that time to get that done. Hey Myrtle, thanks for joining. Okay, and done. Oh, surprisingly, I didn't get that on my nail. And for those of you playing at home, yes, I have had a nail mishap. My nails are incredibly long because my nail lady had to push my appointment. But on Thursday, I will have pretty nails and I will hopefully share with you the colour that I choose on Friday. Because I absolutely have no idea. I'm thinking I might go pretty pink because I have some beautiful pinky purple kangaroo paw flowers in my front yard, and I'm thinking I will match those, but they're terribly grown out. Okay, those are done. Oh, craft a lunch happening on the other side of my desk. Grab my dimensionals, pop those on the back. Only need 3. Despite how big these circles are, I just need 3 for balance, unlike a Bruno Bertucci who would put 10. Just put 3. How many of you own this stamp set? I bought it for the Santa because I love him and he's the right size, and for the dies, the Santa sleigh dies that match this set. This set was kind of one of my must-haves, and then when I saw the paper, which is the night before Christmas paper that goes with this, I went, you know what, I'm buying the whole suite. I was sucked in to buy the whole suite because they just did such a good job. You do, Linda. And have you made much with it? I love the back of this one as well. The I think it's Poppy Parade and Cherry Cobbler stripe, polka dot stripes. My word, what planet am I on today? Okay, put that down. Now I'm just going to slap this down and then shimmy it into place. Oh, I think I'm going to have to get that love, oh God, that love Santa and just stamp it up the top, because that looks very, very out of place. But that's a good thing. I can go back and add that. You would, oh, you would only use 3 myrtle. Well, that's good to know. Okay, now I'm gonna just huff on that and use the ink that's left. That works perfectly. Much happier with that because I just filled that space nicely. And pop these on. You can see, to mass produce these cards, it will be very simple. A bit of prep work with the die cutting, but a good thing to do while you're chatting with a friend or watching a TV show. Hey Philomena, thank you so much for sharing. I do appreciate it. And then just pop this on there, just like so. And one of my team members also used a touch of Winker Stella around the back to make it pop against that background. If you were my bone folder, you would be here. That's just not sitting. Ah, that's sitting better now. Bring in my second. Just pop some glue on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Done. And let's pop this here. Oh look, that space I had under here is absolutely perfect. And I love that you sort of get a hint of everything, but you don't necessarily get a full image of everything. And do you know what? I'm going to bring in my T-square ruler, which is absolutely filthy. but I'm just going to, yeah. Oh no, it's not straight. My T isn't sitting well. Look at me with all my non-English words today. Hello, Miss Joanne. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, I think that is sitting straighter now than before. Yep, perfect. It may not be centered, but it's straight. Okay, and it's not spatially right up the top and bottom, but it's handmade. The person I give it to is going to go, oh, this is a lovely card that Ellen made for me. That's my hope. That's always my hope, that someone will go, oh, that's lovely. Okay, and pop him there. So that is the cards. So I made one exactly the same way Martin made it, and he used this Night Before Christmas paper. Sorry, just pulling all my inky stamps out of the way. He used the Night Before Christmas paper, and that one's made exactly as he did using the Mossy Meadow. And because I used all that paper, I chose another paper, which is the gorgeous Santa hats on the pretty peacock paper. So I decided to change things up a little. Oh, good. I'm glad. As I said, these are totally cased from Martin Mayhem. It's just for my second card. I have changed the colour palette. Now, I always put my business details, and if you aren't doing this as a business, that's okay. I do encourage you to put your contact details, because you never know. It is a happy card, Deb. You never know who is looking at your cards, whether they might want you to make some invitations or help them. Yeah, you never ever know. So these are the basic supplies that I have used. I will just bring in the layering circle framelits. So that's what I've used, and the triple banner punch. So not too many supplies, but I feel you get a really happy card. The Santa hats are adorable, Kathy, and I like the vintageness of the Night Before Christmas paper. It really reminds me of my grandmother's Christmas tree and her little gift cards that she used. And my mum now has those gift cards. She must have had thousands of them. I don't know how they've lasted, because the whole family nicked these little cards and wrote to, from on them, and they were just a little opening square that had a vintage image on the front, like lots of different kind of vintage Christmas images, and the papers really just are so reminiscent of those images. Thank you so much, Philomena. I hope you guys have a lovely Wednesday if you're in my time zone, or Tuesday, or whenever you are watching this. So I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you, Martin, for giving me this card design, because I really enjoyed using this Santa in a different way. And I will catch you guys later in the week. I hope to be live on Friday with you. So thank you, Susan. Have a lovely couple of days, and I will see you guys then. Bye.